Welcome back, few ladies and gentlemen. This is what it looks like when you buy a new car and you have great plans for it. Obviously you are happy about new project car. This is what it looks like when you spend already a huge amount of money and you are in the middle of the project and you still don't see any end of it. And this is what it looks like on the end. You are finally done and you can drive the car and enjoy it. It means you are really proud of yourself. Right now it is the time to tighten all the screws. Prop shaft bolts 100 Newton meters, but only if these are 10.9 hardness. Before I install this complete exhaust, I'm gonna change all oxygen sensors, and I didn't bought them original from the dealer because he is selling the same Bosch oxygen sensors for the double price, but not every Bosch is original. You need to have this small label here with this QR code in order to make sure that these ones are original Bosch parts and not some fake China reproduction. Just clean this grease off the thread. Well, this whole exhaust system is one piece. There is no way you can disassemble it in two pieces. It means you need two hydraulic lifters in order to lift it up properly. It is the hard way, but it is still doable. It all fits just perfect. And of course, brand new screws. And as always start in the front from exhaust. Brand new rust-free bracket. Nice. I'm pretty sure that no one from us likes those oil leaks, and this steering pump is leaking some oil. It's not dropping, but it's starting to leak and it makes some crazy noises. So what do we need to do about it? Fix it. But before I remove that steering pump, it is easiest way to remove a fan clutch in order to get to those belts, and that will be the first step to do. So I have managed to remove this plastic cover from fan clutch out of the way. You should remove it with your water reservoir because it is tight fit. This one needs to get out together, but I somehow managed to remove it without because I'm putting this plastic piece brand new. The old one is broken and I don't want to have any water leaking right now down there while working on this steering pump. Some special tools are needed. This is the left side thread, don't mix it. Oh yeah. You are supposed to pull it in the air like that, hold it tight, pull that belt off, and that's it. Let's get that sludgy oil out. last banjo bolt. But the fluid is still clean. And the reason for that is I needed to fill almost 1 liter when this car arrived. It means it was leaking. Or maybe when they installed a new shock, they didn't fill up the fluid. Maybe, could be. I don't know. Oh. Oh, yeah. There she is, filthy, dirty, leaking and all that stuff together. Yep. Steering pump, 130 bars. I was able to fix it, but I was not able to find all the parts for the inside. That was the reason why I sent it to the company who are doing this every day, and they have all the parts for these old pumps. Maybe you know this brand is called Look, and they are located in Bad Homburg here in Germany. It is maybe 50 kilometers away, but the issue is they are closed. Means no more parts, no more anything from that company. I paid 200 euros to get new pistons inside, to get new seals and to assemble it back as it was. For 200 euros I'm not able to spend time searching parts, checking if they fit or something else. And this one is looking clean again. It's gonna seal again, and right now I'm gonna install this one back in. The steering pump is going back in. Before you install it, make sure you take this screw all the way down, and you wanna tie it only with your fingers back to the block, because this one is used only to determine the position from the pump when these two screws are tightened down. And of course, do not forget brand new washers, because old ones are always leaking. Click, 20 Newton meters. So that's the screw that I was talking about. Now just turn it all the way back to the engine block with the finger, and that's it. The reason why this one does not have these 6 edges is actually that you use your fingers to tighten it, because you want to make sure it only lies on this one, and the screw from the back is gonna tighten all that into place. As you can see, it is only making sure when these front 2 screws are tight that this one in the back gets in the same place. And yes, this is a goddamn tight spot. Smaller hands, it would be a huge benefit right now. It is the time for fresh fluid. Within Pentosine CHF 11S is something that BMW used for these steering pumps, and of course for self-leveling suspension in the back. So I'm using the same oil and nothing else. So what the fuck is this lunatic doing actually right now? This lunatic is trying to get the oil in the pump, and of course you have seen we have poured in 2 liters of fresh oil. It means you still have some air left in the pump, but I am always making sure that the pump with this small amount of turns builds just a small pressure to fill all that area with oil, and you don't wanna run it without any oil just by turning your engine on. So it is a small tip, but this one saves a bit of life of that pump. To tie this belt down, there is a 17mm screw on a tensioner. Go all the way up, and after that tight this second screw, and that's it. And this is the position where you want to be at. And the same goes for the pump belt. You will never guess why I have such a creepy and rusty suspension part with an old rotor in my truck. Ta-da! Voila! It is perfectly straight. And not only this one, all four of them. When you have such a nice set of wheels for your BMW 750, all you want right now is to keep the air inside and not to leak out. As you can see, all tires are brand new, Michelin tires, got them great tires, but the company who remanufactured that wheel, they have left the old valves inside, and guess what? I've pumped up the tires to 2 bars, and after 2 days one of them was completely empty. You can see the problem. They have used the old valves and they have fucked up one thread. Why? Because it is so goddamn stupid. They have charged 1,500 euros to fix those wheels to make them look shiny again, but so stupid to buy new valves that costs only 30 euros, all 4 of them. So I came up to the idea to buy this thread repairment set, helicoil or whatever you want to call it. Right now I'm having some hard time to get this one right, because you need to go exactly straight as this surface right here is, because on that surface you have small rubber that's sealing all that air and keeping it inside. So if you get this wrong, you're gonna leak after it again. It doesn't matter if thread is fine or not. Then you're gonna have to use some crazy glue to keep all that air inside. In order to remove these old valves, you need to heat up the wheel, at least that valve, around 80 to 100 degrees. That's what Alpina says. And after that, try to get it out with just turning 1 turn, then half a turn back in, then again 1 turn out, then again half turn in, and do all that until you get that old valves out. After that, you need this thread tap G18. Go all the way in, and you can already see small parts falling out. Now it's the time for compressed air. Go all the way in. By going all the way in with compressed air, it's gonna automatically clean out all that crap inside. In that way, it's not gonna go in the wheel. Alpina writes down Loctite 243 or 2701. Well, I have this one. I'm using it all the time for different screws, and it is just great stuff. And apply a bit in the hole. And of course, small amount on the new valve. Screw it in. Now you need a small torque wrench and just torque it to 5 Newton meters. That's also what Alpina says. And that's it. And those 5 Newton meters are just enough for that small rubber to seal on that surface right there. Right now I'm sure this is not gonna leak anymore, and those valves are not gonna go out because the previous ones, they didn't have any Loctite. And when you are done with all of that, leave them at least 24 hours for the Loctite to dry out, and after that pump it to your specific air pressure.
I think this rear end is just a bit too high and it is time to adjust it. In order to set this rear leveling suspension correctly, you need to run the engine, you need to have enough fluid in your reservoir, and there are some other stuff underneath of the car. But first, there are some measurements that BMW made and gave us people to use in order to get that perfect height in the rear as in the front. If you take a great look on the side of these cars, you're gonna notice that the front one is always a bit higher and the rear one a bit lower. The front one looks like it's a bit higher because there is more space in that fender as on the rear one, because the rear fender is actually a bit lower than the front one. You need to follow this line in order to understand what I'm talking about. If I go too low in the back, it's gonna look great, but EDC shocks are gonna suffer. If I go too high in the back, this rear end is gonna look stupid because this middle line won't be the same with the bottom. It means you need to find something what looks decent and something where those EDC shocks are not gonna suffer. So those are instructions how to set it correctly. With this lever moving to the front, raising the vehicle, and the lever moving to the back, lowering the vehicle. And on the second side, I have 16, 17, 18-inch wheels to choose which one am I running right now. But the problem is, I'm not running these 18 wheels anymore. I'm running Alpina wheels right now, and I need to make sure that this measurement is the same with those 18-inch wheels. In order to set this wheel properly, you need to load your trunk with 200 kilos. So I loaded with a bunch of water that I had, and I do have approximately 180 kilo in the trunk. And right now you need to play with this wheel, but you don't need to play, you need to move it. And you see right there, I found out the middle position, and I had to find out the middle position from this one, because previous genius mechanic turned that one lever 180 degrees wrong. It means that this lever was 180 degrees in wrong way installed. Thanks for that already cost me 4 hours to find out and to get all that stuff running properly. And with this hole right here, you can set the middle position, and after that you need to set it properly on this gauge right there. The problem is, it is really sensitive. If you move it even less than millimeter, it's gonna raise the car more than 1 centimeter. It means you need to have steady hand and a lot of nerves in order to set this properly. Hydraulic suspension. After 1 day of sitting, I have some issues. Next day the car should have the same height as the day before, but that's not the thing. The problem is, he is losing on the height and I am still searching for a problem. You have seen in the video all these shocks, all these pressure pads, all these lines. Even this hydraulic valve in the middle is also new, and I still have some issues. That hydraulic pump was overhauled, but I'm not sure where the issue is. So right now I'm gonna check the pressure. So right now with this tool made by Volkswagen, it is pretty old school and it is goddamn old, but it is working all the time properly. I'm gonna check that hydraulic pump down there. I have made some connectors and adapters in order to connect it on that original pressure lines, and with this tool I'm gonna be able to read the pressure from that hydraulic pump. I'm using this all the time on Bentleys, on Rolls-Royce, because I'm working on these kind of cars almost every day, and this one is the best thing to use. There is a bleeding point up here, you need to bleed it a bit, and after that it's gonna show me correctly how much pressure does that new pump produce. Cold start on the next day. The rear end is right now on the floor, and when I pull that adjusting arm on that hydraulic valve on the rear axle, this gauge needs to go up over 100 bar. And right now when I lower the arm on the hydraulic valve, this gauge should go down. What that means is that valve on the rear axle is working properly, because when that valve goes in the front, it means it wanna go higher and it should get more oil. and it does get more oil, he's giving that signal to the pump to produce more pressure. And the pump does that, she goes over 100 bar and she is doing her job properly. But where is the issue? Time to raise up the car. I have changed all the parts. I have cleaned the system, I have fresh fluid in complete system, there is no more old fluid. I have done everything like BMW says. I have even found that middle position from that valve in the back in order to keep the rear axle steady when the engine is off. But I mean, the previous owner had installed that rear adjusting valve new, and you saw I had to adjust that control arm in order to work properly, and maybe that was the problem. It was pumping the fluid in wrong direction. It means it could be possibly issue with that valve, because that's the only thing that I haven't changed, but it is brand new. So that could be the issue. Right now it is keeping the height properly, and I found something else. That valve gets hot all the time. It means that he has fluid circulation all the time, and that's not right. It means he's getting all the time that hot fluid. He's asking all the time for that hot fluid. It means for me he's not able to close the valves in order to keep the axle in the air and to stop asking oil from the pump in the front. That could be the issue. So with the pump being checked, right now it is the time to check this valve on the position to make sure that this lever is actually on that 0 position. And to do that, you need to take this cap off. Of course, release the pressure on this bleeding point, because if you don't do that, all that 50 bar pressure is gonna blow your eyes. So make sure to release the pressure first. There's gonna be a bit oil coming out. Nothing special. I think you know what I mean. You don't want to have any pressure inside of there when you are working on these parts. In order for you to understand what I'm talking about, I have taken this used valve. This is from my old E34. This is what I'm talking about. This is actually a hole where you need to put something 4 mm thick, and when you get there you will see this small ball on the top coming out. And the moment you want to set this is actually when this ball is kind of trying to open up. It means somewhere about there. When that ball is in that position, your lever is going to be pointing right there in that hole from the body and from the lever arm. Meaning that this is 0 position. This is the position where this valve closes the circuit and it stops the car from sinking down. And this lever arm is being blocked with this 4 mm pin, and this one haven't been removed on this area. These yellow marks are still there. It means this one is perfectly adjusted. And if you take a really good look on this small edge of that shaft, it is pointing directly to that hole up there in that valve. It means this is null position and it is perfectly adjusted. If I do the same on the car, when I plug this pin in the place where it belongs, again to that 0 position, you're gonna see that this shaft is exactly on the same position, and I haven't adjusted right now. That was done yesterday with all that closed. It means I have raised the car and I found out the position when this one was closed, and after that I have installed this lever back on that shaft with this pin. Right now I have lowered the car to a distance that I think that looks fine, and it's gonna be safe for those brand new EDC shocks. And the next step is to install that pin back in the valve right there. This is the 0 position, and with the car laying on the ground, I'm gonna install this small arm and I'm gonna leave it in the middle of that hole. And as you can see there is still enough space to do some fine adjustments later, but right now I'm gonna tighten all that down and run the engine. And if this works right now, then I'm done with it, finally. With all that being tight, take that pin out. With the engine off, make sure to check the distance, because right now engine is not working, there is no pressure in the system, this car is still sitting on the lift, and the next step is going to be to lower the car with a lift, start the engine, and it should come to the same position as it is right now. Lower the car completely. This is loose. Yes. And now it's the time to start the engine. Check the gauge and check the height. Right now, when I take my butt that weighs 100 kilo and puts it in the trunk, you're gonna see that pressure gauge going directly to 100 bars, and the car is gonna be lowered, and after that it's gonna raise it up pretty quickly. Working just as it should. To fix that sinking rear end, I need to change this valve, and I have ordered new one. Well, new ones are not more available. It means you need overhaul one, or you need to find a overhaul kit. I didn't have time for it, and I contact a company called Nagengast in Poland. They are fixing and overhauling suspension parts, and they had the last one on the stock. That's the same company that fixed the shocks, front in the rear, EDC shocks, and they are working properly. If you have problems with your suspension parts, with EDC shocks or with self-leveling shocks in the back, you should contact them, because they are doing it every day and they know exactly what they are doing. So the same goes for this valve. I'm gonna change it, set the height, and this one should hold the pressure. What's the first step? Release the pressure. Come on. New one's coming in. I like to install these high pressure lines first, and after that tight that lever in position, because if you don't match the thread, it is gonna be a bit tricky to find it when all of that is tight. Clean it up a bit and leave that lever arm loose, because you're gonna set it later as the car is on the ground. Engine is running, valve is in, I don't see anything dropping. To bleed the system out, take this one off, pump is off, pump running. You can maybe hear it from the front of the engine. This is the way how to bleed the system right now. The shocks are all the way down. It means they need to fill up. This is the way how BMW used to bleed the system. What I actually did, I have opened this bleeding nipple, I have raised the wheel in the air, I saw oil coming out, means the oil came from the shock all the way up there. I closed the valve, I lowered the wheel, did it on the next one the same, and after that did the same here, and on that way I made sure that this one gets oil, and all that oil inside is gonna make sure that this area is filled and all the air is outside. And again, I have set the height, I was measuring the pressure, it is all fine. Long story short, this new valve is holding the pressure. After 1 hour, car is still on the same place and the fluid level is still the same in the reservoir. It means that fluid is not being pumped back in the reservoir. And if you check it on the side, it is decent looking. Yes. I'm gonna still play with the height in the back, maybe, but first this is ready to test drive, of course, when the front is together, and we'll see if I need to adjust anything. The time has come to tighten all these screws on the rear axle, but before you do that, if you are a guy like I am without 4-post lift, make sure to raise your wheel in the air, do the math, check the distance between there and there as you had with the car on the ground, lift it up, tighten all that. If you don't get enough space for the upper screws, make them tight with hand, take the wheel off. After that you're gonna have much more place, the bushing is gonna stay in the same position as it should, tighten it down on your torque spec, and you are ready to roll. And of course, when you do one stuff, there is something else broken or gonna be broken soon. And I found out these rubber hoses, these are air rubber hoses, they are done. If you check the inside, you're gonna see that all that rubber is falling apart already, and it is kinda soft.
You know, it doesn't feel like strong rubber anymore. So it means you get those at the dealer, and you should change those on your M73 engines because they do go bad because of all that heat in the engine bay. And after they crack, you are gonna have issues with false air and all that stuff that comes together. And the bead hose is, as you can see, I'm pretty goddamn sure that some of you are gonna recognize what am I doing right now. Seeing this heat core, you know, I'm trying to get to these spark plugs down there somewhere. And my hands look like that. Actually, it is all normal. But one tip for you, if you're trying to get those spark plug cables off, just don't pull it like an idiot. Try to turn it, to rotate it, and to wiggle a bit in all the sides, and then you will be able to pull it off. If you don't do that, you are gonna destroy them. Trust me. And I won't film this process, so it's gonna stay somehow off camera. Plug number 7 going out. Oh yeah. And what I can say about it, it hasn't been changed in a long time. After half an hour, I have managed to get all them out, but I have issue on cylinder number 11. This one wasn't tight, and as you can see, this one was losing compression and throw out a bit oil. Well, that's not oil, this is actually fuel, but with the time that fuel evaporates, and what you get is some old oil, because this is so goddamn sticky. But thankfully all the threads are fine, and right now I'm gonna check those cylinders on wear and if I have some scratches on any one of them. I don't think so, but I'm gonna check on that. Number 7 looking fine. Number 9 looking fine. Number 10 has some small minor scratches, but nothing to worry about. These ones are still looking fine. They ain't deep, because the deep one, it looks completely different. And this is all normal in alusil blocks. The front side still looking fine. You is so fitty. Number 11, gorgeous. Super clean. And we have some oil leaking down there, all normal, but no damage on cylinder number 12. Now I can sleep well. Another tip. I know I may be boring sometimes with those tips, but a lot of you are gonna like them because those ones are gonna save your engine. Once I bought cheap NGK sparks on eBay because I wanted to save $100, and I saved $100 on the first time. I installed them, and after 50 kilometers I had issues with engine, I had poor running engine, and I had some misfiring and all that stuff that comes together. Then I ordered brand new coils. It was M62 engine and it didn't help. I always had the same issue, misfire, misfire, misfire. After 100 kilometers I came up to the idea to take those brand new spark plugs out and to check on them. And I saw that this complete area was melted. It was completely melted away. It was barely possible to get the spark from that spark plug. So on the next day I had to order expensive ones, the same NGK from the dealer, and I got them and the issue was gone. What I'm trying to say to you is, make sure when you buy NGK spark plugs or any kind of spark plugs cheap in internet, make sure you check them, because there are enough sites on internet where you can find out which ones are fake and which ones are real. On NGK what I like to do is, you can see there is some small amount of pulver, some white pulver. It means this is a original spark plug. The second way to find out is this area right here and that area right there. If you have on these two sides some scratches from machining process, these ones are also fake. And if you get NGK with a really thin letters, these are also fake. The next step to check is the thickness between the new one and the old one. This one should be 2.3 millimeters. It's correct. So That's the correct one. To make that sure, I have ordered another spark plug from another dealer to make sure that these ones are completely the same, and they are the same. I have the same amount of that white pulver on this edge, no scratches visible on this or on that area, and the thickness of these two pins are the same as on those ones right there. So before you install those spark plugs, check them out, because there are so many fakes running out there everywhere, trust me, everywhere, and you need to double check all of that, especially on such an engine, because these ones are goddamn expensive, and if these ones go bad on that engine, then you know what's the procedure. You need a complete engine overhaul, and of course we don't want that, I don't want that, you don't want that, and that's the reason why I'm checking all that, and after that I'm installing all that parts. Well, if you are on a spark plug number 12, you need patience, and to get that patience I'm drinking some brandy. Yes, patience. Can you hear that? Number 12, 30 Newton meters. That is what BMW says. M14 tread 30 Newton meters. M12 tread 23 Newton meters. Don't mix that. Let's go number 11. Number 10. Number 9. Number 8. And the final number on this side, number 7. So cylinder number 1 is looking all fine. A normal small amount of oil. Number 2 is also looking just great. Yes, baby. Looking clean. Just a small mark on the lower side, but still not a scratch. Nice. Number 3 having some small marks, but none of them are deep scratches. Ain't perfect, but also ain't bad. Number 4 looking good. Let's get the piston number 5 down. A bit more wear on a lower end, but no scratches. Nothing wild. Number 5 looking good. Number 6, bit wear, but no scratches. Nice. What I can see on those spark plugs is that this combustion was pretty nice. It was decent. There are no black marks. It means this engine isn't burning any oil. I know you can see a lot of oil on the treads, but that's all normal, especially on that one, because this one wasn't tight. It means you're getting all that combustion with the time through the thread outside. Just a bit. Thankfully that thread in cylinder head didn't went bad, and I was able to tighten all 12 sparks with this guy. You should use him if you don't have feel for those. These ones could still run because they are not that old, but of course if you want to check on your engine from inside, on scratches and all that stuff, it's logically you're gonna put new spark plugs, and with those ones I can run 100,000 kilometers again, because they are made to hold up 100,000 kilometers. And of course I have seen guys running much longer without any issues. So these are really goddamn great spark plugs. What I'm doing right now is I'm measuring the resistance in a spark plugs. I need about 6 kilo ohms on every spark plug cable, but from the coil to the distributor I need 2 kilo ohms approximately. So I'm starting with a first one. 2 ohms on a main cable. To be honest, I am really happy that all that cables are fine, because they are not more available. You can buy some second-hand cables, but not the same ones from the factory, because the factory ones have some nice detail on it. It has those plastic covers in order to keep them safe from bites from any kind of tears that are getting in the engine bay. Well, it is something what I can directly put back in and move on, so nothing more to do there. The next step is gonna be to change the fuel lines. The new ones are already here, directly bought from the dealer. And the reason for the new ones is, you're seeing it right, they have served enough, it is the time to change them. I'm gonna change all that vacuum pipes because they are worn out and already cracking. Switch yourself. This one needs to be changed, as that one too. For the left side I was able to buy a complete part, but for the right side I was only able to get these rubber hoses. Well, I am more than happy for that, because sometimes you don't even get those stuff. That's it. New hoses are installed. These are the old ones and all of them are not looking good. New clamps, small amount of tools needed, and this is done in 10 minutes and it saves a lot of troubles in the future. The same goes for the driver's side. As you can see, someone already tried to fix this hose with a tape. It was kinda working for some time, but if you take a deeper look, you'll see that all these hoses are on the end. The same as on the passenger side. And I also bought brand new hose that runs from brake cylinder all the way up those exhaust manifold, and all these hoses are, well, this is the new one, but the old ones, they are so goddamn hard. You're not able to press them again because they are just waiting to break down. I paid this side maybe 50 euros with that part right there, and this one will be a nice upgrade too. This is a nice upgrade for M73 engines. As you can see, this is original thermostat running at 105 Celsius. It means pretty goddamn hot. And this one is from non-facelift model M73 too, but from 1994 to 1998 I think. And this one is running at about 90 degrees. It means you are gonna sink your temperature. You're gonna save all that plastic parts and rubber parts in your engine, and all you need to do is to take this one out from the new one. You're not able to get only that one, and this is the quality one. This is called WERBE. WERBE is actually original supplier for BMW thermostats, making them already for years. And you need to take this electronic control device out from here, well, upside down like that, and of course you need to remove this one too, and to close it on that side in order not to leak the water from this small area. And on the end you need something to do on your connector right here in order not to get any error messages. And that's it. When this one is in, it fits perfectly because they have used the same part almost. Besides the connecting points for the hose, you can see this is facelift and this is non-facelift. That is the reason why am I changing all that, in order to run it cooler and to prevent any further damage on that engine. What I like to do is to cut these wires off straight, and with this still fresh glue I'm installing this connector back into place, putting the clamp back there, and it seals every time. The same goes for the inside. You see that small pin going into the thermostat. There is also a place you need to apply a small amount of glue. On the left side is an old plastic fan, and on the right side it is a new plastic fan. The reason for a new one is I saw these one going bad a lot of times, and when they go bad they make a huge disaster in your engine bay. They destroy your engine hood, they destroy your plastic parts, your water hoses. It's only about 50 euros directly from dealer, and just invest that the money. You are gonna save yourself a huge amount of money later. This new one is able to hold for next 20 years again. Maybe you have noticed by disassembling all that cooling stuff, this one is actually broken. Right there is a nice hole inside, and this one has suffered some hot temperatures already. The same goes for the fan plastic. Brand new original BMW part, fits 100% correctly. You don't need to adjust anything. You just install it in the same place and it fits. The next one is a coolant reservoir, because this one is still the old one, could be still the original, and of course new cap, and all of that will prevent any heat on the car. And these ones are prone to go bad. They just crack on the top. Let's just make sure that this does not happen on that car. Brand new fan clutch. Brand new, well, what? Water tank. and plastic cover. Yes, 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 yes. Brand new gasket. The old one was so hard. Now it is the time to lift the cars, because from the bottom there are two more connectors that needs to go in that water tank, and after that fill up the water and see what this engine does. In order to fill up water, I'm using vacuum. On this gauge I can actually see if that system is all sealed up or if I have some leaks. If I have some leaks in 5 to 10 minutes, this gauge should go up, and then I know I need to fix that and try to find the issue. But the second benefit of that is you just take a vacuum, and it is the same thing like the air conditioning system. You apply a vacuum to a system, and after that the vacuum is pulling your fluid. The air conditioning the gas, and right now the fluid. I'm using Ravenol fluid because I have really good experience with them, and this one is gonna come alone. It means no mess, nothing. It's gonna stay all clean, and it's gonna fill all the area in the engine, because right there in every inch is vacuum. It means every inch is gonna be filled with water. And after 10 minutes the gauge is still on the same place. It means no leaks. It should be all sealed up. And right now it is the time to open this valve, and you're gonna see and hear how crazy and how quick this water goes in. So watch out. Yep, filling process has been started, and as soon as this gauge comes to 0, I know there is no more vacuum and I can remove the pipes. As I have told you, as soon as the gauge arrives to 0, no more coolant is being pulled up. This is 20-liter bottle. We are somewhere down there. It means around 12 to 13 liters has been put in. Right now ignition is on. The secondary pump is running. I still need to change some vacuum hoses down there. They have been ordered, but right now this can stay like that, and we'll see what happens. Fuel lines are still empty. It could take a bit more time, but that's all fine. Jo, koniu jeden. Second try. Right now I'm done for today, and you can guess what's gonna happen over the night. Yes, we are gonna drain that complete old oil. This mighty V12 deserves the best, and it's gonna get the best. Ravenol 5W40. Those lights, we all know with the years they are losing their efficiency, and because of that I bought something special. Maybe you remember Stratton installed the same stuff in his E38, and I'm going with the same setup but with some better lamps right now, and all of that needs to get inside of there. So disassembly, the front bumper is already off, and right now it won't be any scratches on freshly painted front bumper. Headlights are completely disassembled. As you can see, the difference, that's the old one
and the new one. This one's gonna bring much more light on the street, and it is the time to clean that all out, as from outside, the same from the inside, to give it a bit polish there, to clean the glass and to clean all the plastic parts. They are gonna look like brand new. If you own any kind of BMW from late 90s to early 80s, on every goddamn car you're gonna find those broken isolation cables. As you can see here, you can put new isolation on this cable, but it makes no sense, because in this part it is also everything worn out and crispy. It means sooner or later you're gonna have issues with your fuses and they are gonna blow out. So to fix this, BMW made once this whole section and it was available to buy new. Right now it is, as always, NLA, and right now I need to get all these connectors out, install new wire, give it a better isolation and put it back together. But the biggest issue is this part right here. I need to get all that cables through, because this one is actually keeping the water and moisture outside of your headlight. And if you don't seal this one properly, you're gonna get the moisture and you will always have that dirty headlight from the inside. So the plan is to cut that shit out, put new cables, weld it back together, and to install double isolation to make sure that this shit doesn't happen again. So this is how it looks from inside. It is also falling apart. It was just question of the time when these wires get together. If you see those kind of green cables, it means the moisture was already here and the moisture got in this copper, and this is the result. It is oxidation from this material. And when this one gets really deep in the material, you're gonna have light issues. So, time for new cables. I think we can all spot the difference right now. These ones falling apart. And these ones are completely new cables. I managed to disconnect them here from the connector and to get them through this hole. I also used some glue in order to keep that water outside and the moisture, of course. This one is also new. It means no more issues. To fix one, it took me 1 hour to get all that wires correctly in the same length, to make sure that everything is gonna fit again as it was before. And right now this one could be a bit faster, but I don't know. But if it takes 1 hour, it is better to take even 2 hours, but not to burn up and to have contact here, because we all know what happens when these two guys make bzz, bzz. All those headlight spots have been cleaned up and these cables are looking like brand new again. It is all secure and no more bad isolation. To install this projector kit, it is a bit tricky. You do have some instructions from the seller, but there are still some things you need to take care of. You see there, you need to use 2 nuts. And before you install all that back together, you need to somehow cut this area right there in order to fit this new part easily in, because this one is gonna break if you don't do that. You won't be able to mount it easily. So the next step is to install it back in that plastic housing. And when you do that, you need to disassemble this connector. This is actually an old gasket for that wire harness, and it is, well, yes, Bluetooth mode right now. What I use is just a normal O-ring in the same place, and it fits just perfect. All you need to do right now is to click it firmly, because this one is a bit thicker than the old one, and this one will seal properly again. So it is in the place, it's not moving. It means that new O-ring is sealing correctly. If you would have play in this area, it means that O-ring is not sealing correctly and the moisture has great potential to get in. I think I haven't forgot anything and we can just go in. Click, and that's it. And on the end, make sure you clean it up, because I was touching it with my fingers. And now it is the time for compressed air. Just a bit. Beam light. Is easy. Small amount of grease on those teeth, and when the projector is inside, just click those in. Well, not like that. Stay right there. And check the function. Yes, 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 yes. It is pulling, it is moving. The same goes on this side. Check the function. Yes, this one is tilting. It means it's working. The glass in the front, it has been removed and cleaned out deeply, because we need to do that after all these years. And just go slowly in. There is one screw here, and click it back in the same place. And how do you know when it's all fine? When you don't have any gap between this plastic and this cover. And as you can see here, this one is lying perfectly. It means this is all sitting correctly. Screw is going back in. Just a bit. I also bought brand new gasket and the clips, because they are available. These old gaskets, they are prone to leak after you remove them once. You need to seal them in, and those ones are just soft. These ones are gonna seal, but make sure that this connection goes down there. That's the only thing to watch out. Don't worry, the new gasket is a bit longer than the old one, but all of that is for a great reason. All those gaskets, they are pulling themselves together with the time. It really does not matter if these ones are a bit longer. As you can see, it fits still perfectly. I'm not able to mount the glass right now. I ordered a new one too. It does have some delay in delivery. It should arrive today, and I hope it's gonna arrive today. But in the meantime, there is something else to pay attention to. This is some additional connector going down on this projector. There is some kind of resistance in that projector, and you need to take this one through this gasket. It means all you need to do is to disconnect these pins, take them out one by one, push them through this rubber and place it back in the same place. Be careful with those pins, they are really thin and soft. Pull them out again, just a bit, not too much. And it looks all original again. Going through that same hole, this one is completely sealed, this one will be sealed with a connector, and that's the way how to fix and install all that stuff. I'm using brand new Philips xenon bubble, because those ones are much better than those old ones, and they are promising me 30% more light. And all we need when driving at night is much light. This red O-ring is actually a gasket, and they are writing down you need maybe a bit more force to install this screw. So let's check that out. No, not at all. It feels all fine. This purple one, I'm assuming this one is only to make sure that this one doesn't get loose. The bubble is in the position. This is all tight. This one is called Vorschalgerät on German. I'm not sure the name in English. You're gonna say it's not sitting straight. I know, but it is the same way how I disassembled all that. It used to work all that years, and it's gonna work even longer in the same place. This is actually the next step, and after that this one is going back in. This one goes back there. Yep. And the rubber gasket still in perfect shape. And now we need this one. This is new part of a cable. This one goes there, and that one right here. And that's it. When I order brand new parts exactly these two covers for the headlights, you get them. But if you take a closer look, that surface is from inside scratched. Yes, you can see it pretty goddamn good on camera. And you know what? I have already contacted the seller and that's all I'm gonna say. What I need to do right now is to polish it from the inside, because all that is inside, not outside. If that would be outside, I would understand it, maybe by transporting or whatever could coat the surface, but it is from the inside. This side I have already fixed, I have polished it out and it is looking mint right now, but it is not what you are supposed to get when you buy brand new parts. And this is not some China shit. Those are Magneti Marelli, they are pretty goddamn good, but after 15 minutes, it is looking clean again, as it is supposed to look like as a new part. And after crazy 2 weeks, I'm finally able to install this glass on the headlight. And the last puzzle of this puzzle would be to install this gasket. The right one is the new one, original BMW part, and it is made for non-facelift models. The left one is actually the old one, facelift models. You can see the connections are a bit different, but they fit almost 100%. And on that non-facelift models, on the end, they are maybe shorter for 1 centimeter. On these new clips, all you need to do is just to take off just a bit of that plastic upper part in order to fit them nicely, because facelift models, you have seen, they have clips from the side, and the non-facelift models, they have clips on the top, and they are getting in really tough. And in order to fit them properly without any breaking points, just cut off just a bit on the top and push them in. You tell me if this is any good or not. In the front, I went almost with all new parts. Those fog lights are new, those spraying nozzles are new, those indicators are brand new, of course the bubbles, the side indicator of course. And to keep this car beautiful, I'm only using original parts, because these old indicators, they are broken, the clips here and there, they are yellow, and of course those glasses, they look much better right now. You are gonna confirm that. And the fog lights, they have so many chippings and stones and stuff, and I couldn't leave it like that with freshly painted front bumper and all that stuff old. It makes no sense. That's gonna be it for this one. If you are interested in the next video, make sure to subscribe, because I have a lot more content to show you about this car, because in the next video you'll see the assembly from the front bumper, from the front lights, and all that stuff what belongs in the front end. And of course there is still a lot of interior job to do. I'm hoping you have enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe and to share this video, because this helps a lot to me.